Hi, welcome back to Tiny Garage Fabrication. Now that I have all of the underhood wiring finished up, there are a few things under the dash I have to take care of to make sure that my ignition will supply power when it needs to, that the key will send power to the starter when it needs to, and with those few things buttoned up, there's one more thing to do in the engine bay, and then I'm gonna turn that key and see what happens. Stick around. The wiring in the engine bay is done. Last night I went ahead and actually hooked up the battery, and the only thing that came on was the dome light and like two of the dash lights. Nothing else really seemed to work, which means that the full installation of this rat's nest down here, I don't think, well, I mean, shit, you can look at it and tell it's not up to spec. So I'm gonna go ahead and spend some time off camera. I'm gonna go through all of this, try to get it all figured out, get grounds where they need to be, try to get everything tucked up and organized, and then we'll see if we can throw some fuel at this thing and maybe start it. I went through all the wiring and cleaned it up a little bit, kind of tucked and rerouted some things. There's still a little bit to do over there, the heater side, but that's not on my side, so screw it. These two wires right here for the stereo, which I don't have yet, but I might eventually. So the only thing left to do is hook up the battery, turn the key, and see if anything powers up. I'm not going to try to start it yet. I still have to do the distributor, the timing, prime the oil pump, and we'll get to that in a second. Now it's time to prime the oil pump. So to do that, the distributor has to come out. So the distributor has to come out anyway, because I need to align this part of the rotor with, there's a little mark on the distributor body right here. I have to get all that stuff aligned, but I'll go ahead and pull this out and prime the oil pump first. Now the engine's already full of oil. This is a tool from Proform. It basically mimics a distributor, and it's got a little tang on the bottom which engages with the oil pump. Just kind of get it in there. Alright, now I'm going to be paying attention to this line right here when that starts to go dark, and also I will feel some resistance in the drill, but when it feels like it starts to get pressure and when that line goes dark, I know I've got oil to the top end of the motor. So there we go. Chance I wasn't even on the damn thing. There we go. Now I know I'm good. Yeah, I know. Look at that. Already got oil flowing. I'm gonna leave that in there because, oh shit, that's no good. I don't know what the hell happened, but I had to carefully pull this thing out.
Well, what had happened was I didn't tighten up the chuck on the drill enough, and as I spun it, it kind of started to shave down the handle of the oil pump primer and get little flakes everywhere.
Alright, now that that's all cleared up, I've got a little line marked on the top of this shaft, and that tells me the direction of the tang on the oil pump. Now that tang needs to line up with this tang right here in the bottom of the distributor, as well as the rotor. Now the direction's set to add a dab of grease to the distributor drive gear. As well as the oil pump gasket. We'll put some on the bottom side of the distributor. Now, the tang on the drive gear is in line with that roll pin, which is more or less in line with this spot on the distributor right here. Now I want to set it, it's kind of hard for you to see, I need to set it so that the rotor aligns with this. Now the mark, or the tang, is right about here, and the distributor drive gear will kind of rotate in like this. So what I want to do is I want to set the tang so that it's facing basically this position, because that's where it's going to need to end up. I'll go ahead and turn it by hand here. A little bit too far, go back some. There we go, I think that'll be good. And then go ahead and get our distributor ready to plop in. Find my number, try to face it roughly towards the number 1 cylinder, turn it back a little bit, and then it should rotate in. Now we're not set in yet. There we go. Now we're in the tang, and I can rotate my distributor right there. We're aligned. Kind of hard for you to see, but I can see it here. And I can go ahead and lock this thing down now. Now the cool thing about this being all electronically controlled is that I don't have to turn the distributor, or I shouldn't have to. The ECU takes care of all of that for me. So there we go. And now I can, once my distributor cap is on, we will get the thing going with the number 1 spark plug wire faced basically right here at the idle air control valve. Alright, let's get to it. That was the easy part. Get all these spark plug wires ran. So we'll start with number 2. 1843657 I have to keep in mind my air cleaner, really big, goes right about here. There's 4. 184. Take this there. 18436. And number 8. Lucky number 1. Number 3, 1843. 5. Last but certainly not least, lucky number 7. There we go. Just a big shot right on top here. There we go. Ignition is hooked up. Everything, I think everything is ready to go. So I got this thing in the setup. Alright, I'm going to turn this off so I can do all this stuff, and we'll get back to you. Well, I'm going to get away. I'm not going to turn it off. Hopefully nothing disastrous happens.
Yes, he did, bro. Yep. yet?
No, there's something else going on. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know what that is.
I mean,
it sounds like an exhaust leak, but it sounds way worse than an exhaust leak.
It sounds kind of. Nah, I don't think it's an exhaust leak. It sounds kind of funny.
Yeah.
That noise. It's coming from the back. What about? Could that be? Well, you ain't got no transmission fluid in here, so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I won't run it no more because the torque converter and all that stuff need.
It's a manual.
It's a manual. Oh shit! What? For real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Yeah. 5-speed in this bitch.
Yeah, this bitch gonna haul ass.
Fucking no automatic.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's what. Yeah, I remember you said you cut the shifter.
Yeah. Whatever that noise is, that don't sound good. It could very well be an exhaust leak because
One more up top, like on your head.
no, I mean the angle that I've got because it's like a ball and socket. The angle I've got them at, it might not be sealed.
Sealed properly.
Yeah.
Now, he's definitely coming from up here. Yeah.
Because that collector's right there. So.
But you know
I'm gonna start this thing one more time, and we'll let you hear what's going on. It sounds like it's in the bell housing. It's got good oil pressure though. I might not have been able to see that, but 60 pounds of oil pressure, so that's something. This is most excellent news. This is the flywheel with the inspection cover removed. I had to pull out the slave cylinder and the starter. And I noticed that little shiny strip right there on the end of the crankshaft on its balance weight. And then I looked down at the inspection cover, and it clearly had been hitting. So that little this lip right here, just this whole area on the outside, you can see the paint scraped away right there. So what I'm going to do is just cut that lip off, reinstall this thing, and I think she'll be good to go. Then we'll listen for any other noises it may decide to make. Well, here's the part that I cut off. I'll try to get some contrast here. And you can see kind of how much that thing was rubbing. And it even started to kind of bend, or at least notch that corner in a little bit. So now this whole piece is gone. Let's see if it did anything. Fuel pump's good. All right. Now it's time to fire this thing up and get the timing set per the setup wizard on the e-tuner. for the coolant temp to get to 170 so that we can move on to the next step. So gonna try to drive it. Hopefully the brakes work, hopefully the clutch works. Here we go. Got some fine tuning to do.
Now I'm just kind of throwing the grill in here with the minimum amount of bolts required to keep it in place, because we're going to be doing something to it in another video.
Alright, kiddies, gather around. I'm going to tell you a story. So here's a stock glass sealed beam headlight, and it doesn't fit very well. This little nubbin right here doesn't let the ring go all the way down. I must have had something glued onto it, maybe yellow lenses or rock guards or something. I don't know, but I hate it. So, got a set of these. These are from a Jeep JK. It uses a replaceable bulb, which is pretty cool. So that's the H13. And not only that, cannot operate bulb. No comprende. It's a 7-inch bulb, and it'll fit where this is supposed to go. Bye-bye. Show you this real quick. So these have little nubbins on the back, and they're meant to sit in these little dents. Simply take this and look at that. It's got 3 little nubbins on it. How convenient. That's a little bit of a tighter fit in here. 2 of the 3 will like sit right in. The third one needs to be coaxed a little bit. But there we go. Got all 3 of them in there. Now for the trim ring. Now the trim ring fits incredibly tight. Almost too tight. But it goes on, and that's a good thing. Now when installing the trim ring, you really want to make sure that you get these screw holes aligned with here, because once it's on, it's a bitch to get it back off, and you certainly can't spin it any at all. So make sure that your holes are as aligned as you can get them. Now, I got 2 out of 3 here, but this little tab will be able to kind of scooch it over. I had to do that on the other light. You can see just how incredibly tight this thing fits. But it goes all the way down and sits flush, unlike the original one. So because these are Jeep headlights, these come from the Jeep JK, which I don't know the year range because I'm not a Jeep guy. I like my Toyotas way more. But something that everybody knows about Jeep guys is that they have to install all the newest and coolest farkles that they can for their off-road mall crawler. So, most likely, 9 out of 10 Jeep guys around you have upgraded their headlights to some super skookum lighthouse spec LED bulb, meaning they probably got a set of these just sitting in the garage being unused. So if you got any Jeeper friends that have a newer Jeep, then hit them up. Be like, hey bro, let me get them lights. What do you say? That's exactly how I got these. Guy I worked with had upgraded his to some JW speaker LEDs, and he gave these to me for absolutely nothing. They can be found on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, your buddy's garage, whatever. So, you know, look around. Totally worth the upgrade, I think. If for nothing else, then for the fact that you can replace this with, you know, HID, xenon, LED, whatever it is that is legal in your locality. You know, talk to your doctor. There you have it. There is a quality DOT approved cheap headlight upgrade for your C10, for your old Task Force Chevy, for your square body, for your A-body Impala, really anything that uses a 7-inch headlight. These things are awesome. Oh, one last thing. We do need to talk about this. I got these adapters from eBay from Michigan Motorsports. I think it was 10, maybe 12 bucks for 2 of them. But there's your H13 on this side and your standard 3-prong on this side. Little bloop. And now they are completely plug and play. Simple, right?
I put the headlights in place, and now it's time to work on the front bumper. I need to attach the bumper mount brackets. There's a little one that goes on top of the frame rail, and then these 2 that kind of come off to the sides. And then it's just a matter of a few bolts, 6 to be exact, to hold the bumper in place. And as with the grill, I'm only putting these in just a little more than hand tight because this bumper is going to come off in another episode. And now it's time to deal with the hood. Sometimes I just feel like I gotta be a man and do these by myself. Sure, it's big and cumbersome and heavy, but you know, it's not outside of the realm of possibilities. The hardest part about putting a hood on by yourself is the alignment. As you can see, I'm moving it back and forth on the hood hinges, and then I have to move the hood striker plate kind of back and forth so that it completely latches in the hood latch.
I'm gonna show you guys something fun. That's something that nobody else would do. Oh God, oh you monster. Oh God, oh my God. Oh, you're evil. You monster. Dude, come on, dude. There's more. Come on. You're sick. Yeah. That's how I roll. Man, I feel like I dodged a bullet there. That knocking sound, I really thought this motor was completely trashed. I've ran it before, and when I took it out of the previous truck, it ran fine. There was no reason for the bottom end to knock, so I was really just kind of thrown for a loop. I was fairly sure that it wasn't a rod knock, but that noise, man, that noise gets me every time. Glad it turned out to be something minor. I just cut that piece of inspection plate out, threw it back in, man, smooth sailing. Well, now you may have seen that there was a significant amount of black smoke coming out of the exhaust, as well as it sounded like it maybe had a big cam, but it kind of sounded like shit at the same time. Well, there is a fairly serious problem with the engine. It's one that I will address, but I don't have the time or money to address it now, or really any time over the next several months at least. I'm going to have to put this project on the back burner until then. I do have some more content to push out for you. You may notice that it has an exhaust now, which you didn't see, and it has a drive shaft now, which you also didn't see. I'm going to do those in separate videos because it's something that kind of applies to everything. I will link it. It will be in the playlist for this truck, but I've got more videos coming out soon. So don't worry about the fact that I'm kind of shelving this project. I've got some more content to push out over the next several months. So leave me a like, leave me a comment, make sure to subscribe, follow along, give me suggestions on what you want to see. And that's it for now. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you next video.